Hello and welcome to another video where I review a game. And this game just so happens to be Black Ops 6 Beta, which I had a lot of fun with. It has its flaws, but I definitely had a lot of fun with. There's no sugarcoating it. It's very fun. In the description, I'm gonna have all the videos I referenced to like SMGs, all the Black Ops 6 videos I made in the description if you want to go ahead and check them out, since I'll be referencing different weapon classes in this video. What I'm gonna be saying today is obviously a review on the beta. So take it with a grain of salt. Things are subject to change. This is a beta. So because of that factor, I'm not going to be talking about zombies with people not liking Liberty Falls, with people not, yeah, just stuff like that. People saying it looks too much like Warzone. I'm not going to touch into zombies until zombies releases, and I can actually play both maps and review each map individually. But also campaign, not going to be touching on, obviously. We don't know much about the campaign. Well, that's not true, but like, you know what I mean. So this is fully on the beta and multiplayer. So also, it's still a beta, so take the multiplayer stuff that I review with a grain of salt. But I have a list of stuff I want to go through. Also, before I get into this, sometimes the background footage will be a little low in resolution. It's because for some instances I talk about weapon classes like SMGs and stuff, and I downloaded my SMG video off of my YouTube channel. And YouTube, when you download videos, sometimes it doesn't look the best. So just a little hint there, but I'm going to be using this footage for most of it, so it is that high quality, but just when I talk about specific stuff, so you can get a visual of what I'm talking about. But now let's go ahead and go into it, and we're going to talk about the gunplay first. The gunplay in this game, it feels like COD. You're going to go into this, and you're going to have a lot of fun. It feels like Cold War and Modern Warfare 3 had a baby, but leaning more towards Cold War, which I really like. I think Cold War's gunplay was fantastic, and in this game, you're not going to struggle to use a gun. Guns don't really have the most amount of recoil management, and with the attachment system, which I'll touch on later on, which I actually forgot about, so I need to put that in my notes. It's like I was saying, I think the gunplay is really fantastic, and you're going to go into it, and it's going to be the usual COD gameplay you always get. I mean, gunplay, not gameplay. Gunplay you always get with every COD game. You're not going to go into this hating how the guns feel. It feels like Call of Duty, which is fantastic, because Call of Duty's gunplay, out of others in the genre, is actually fantastic. They've really nailed down how it should feel, and it feels fantastic in this game. There's no differences, so you're going to be really happy if you like COD's gunplay. Honestly, I feel like this is a little better. I feel like it's more of a step in the right direction. Guns feel more gunny, if that makes sense. I don't know. They just feel smoother. They feel nicer to use, in my opinion. But I don't really know. They're fun to use. That's all I can really say. Everything feels smooth. There's like, you can use every gun. Every gun is viable. Obviously, there's still the meta, which I'll talk about here in a bit, on what guns should be nerfed, definitely should be nerfed, and what shouldn't. So yeah, you're gonna use the SMG and the M4 that they give you, and you're gonna have fun using them. They're great, easy guns to use. From the reticles I used, the reticles were fantastic. They didn't have much flinch on it. The flinch is a little bit of a different play, because if you get meleeed, the flinch from a melee is absolutely insane, like a gun. But there are other flinch things that are a little iffy sometimes. Like the visual recoil is sometimes iffy, but at the same time, the visual recoil really isn't that bad, and I think they'll change it because so many people have said stuff about it, and they have changed it slightly from what I've saw. But yeah, so with that, I think everything's good. There's the different flaws, but with the flinch resistance, you can also just put flinch attachments on, and you'll be perfectly fine. But I think all of that is fantastic. So without further ado, I'm going to get into, so I just talked about gunplay, so obviously I should talk about the attachment system that obviously changes the gunplay. In the attachments in this game, they went for the motive that there's a lot more positives than there are negatives, which in Modern Warfare 2 and 3 are, Modern Warfare 3 a lot less noticeable, but Modern Warfare 2, you'd put on one attachment, and it would be like increase ADS, but it would subtract 20% movement speed, you'd give you 500% more recoil, stuff like that. Like, the negatives so much further outweighed the positives that you just didn't want to put anything on. Like, it just felt like you were just harming more than giving. What with this game, the approach they took was, hey, we're going to give you these positives. Don't worry about no negatives, unless it's attachments like rapid fire, which increase fire rate but increase recoil a little bit, which isn't bad. You just put a foregrip on, it counters it out. So I definitely feel the attachment system is actually kind of better in a way, because I like having more positive than negatives, and it actually feels like what you're doing to your gun is actually good. It's actually benefiting you instead of harming you, which should never harm you. That's kind of stupid. Doing more harm than good for putting an attachment on. Does it logically make sense? No. If you put a suppressor on, you should have negatives. In real life, this is not real life. This is Call of Duty. So from an arcade shooter like Call of Duty standpoint, I think that this is a fantastic change for actually giving you a benefit of building the gun in the way that you want to, instead of having to choose the meta attachments like the meta laser and stuff. You just seeing like, oh, this gives this much benefit for this much negative. Oh, this is perfect. I'll pick this. So I feel like what they did with the attachments is actually really good and a great change. It's gonna some people are gonna hate it. Some people are gonna be like, oh, you can just put whatever you want on, and that's all that matters. And like, I don't know. I can't really make a complaint for it, honestly. I kind of like just having the benefits without the negatives. And then also something that affects your gunplay is the perk system, which they went back to the OG perks where you pick three instead of like making your own package. You pick the three, and then wild cards you can have one more. So I'll get into wild cards in a second, but the perks are back to how they've always been. Same with the UI, by the way. The UI is fantastic. I just want to point that out. I don't even have to talk about it any. It's bringing back the old UI, and that's all that matters. It's just fantastic. I'm not going to talk anything else about it. For Eli, I had to throw that in there. My man Eli hates the new UI, which makes sense. It's atrocious, and I'm so happy the original's back. But yeah, so back to perks. The OG perks are back, and that's fantastic. And I feel like the perks they had in the beta were all really good. They made a lot of sense. From what I remember, they just were well balanced. You pick one perk over the other perk, and then there's the specialty bonus, which the specialty bonus also is a great addition. You're picking these three perks, limiting yourself from the other perks, but you get this little bonus that you would normally not get if you chose the other perks, if that makes sense. And I feel like that's a great concept of an idea. You pick these, so you can see in the background footage right now, perk 1, perk 2, and perk 3 are all red, and I get the red specialty bonus, which gives me faster healing and faster movement speed after I get a kill, which is great. But if I wanted to use all blue perks, then I get the bonus where when I spawn and I can see enemies through walls and for like a few seconds, and there's some other stuff I couldn't honestly tell you. I don't remember. But yeah, I think for a general standpoint that the specialty and the perk changes are fantastic, especially Ninja being a perk. I know some people hate that. I'm so happy it is. I know it is in Modern Warfare 3. I know it's a boot, but that doesn't matter. But then speaking on that, wildcards are finally back from were they in BO4? I don't think they're in BO4. From BO3. I don't know if they're in BO4. You can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sorry if I am. But they're finally back, and boy, I mean, the wildcards are just fun. They give you again another benefit. You're picking, so they had three in the beta. There was perk greed, which gave you another perk, so you can pick 4 instead of 3. This gameplay footage in the background is so choppy, and I couldn't tell you why. So yeah, you have perk greed where you pick 3 perks instead of wait, what? You pick 4 perks instead of just 3, so you just have that extra perk. And then there's also I don't remember what it's called. It's Gunfighter, where you have 8 attachments you can put on your primary weapon instead of just 3. And then the obvious wild card, which is Overkill, allows you to use 2 primary weapons or 2 like I think can you use 2 pistols? I think you can. I'm not. Don't quote me on that. I'm not too certain, but I'm pretty positive that's what the case is. But yeah, you can have 2 primary weapons, so AR and AR if you really are that style. But yeah, I think wild cards are fantastic. They're always going to be good. They're always going to be just amazing. There's no harm in not having them. There's no harm in having them. Sorry, wording wrong. So yeah, another great addition, I think. So they've had definitely a lot of ups, but don't worry, BO6 is not only just ups. So another thing I feel like I should talk about is the time to kill. The time to kill in this game is so insanely fast sometimes. Sometimes, you see what I mean? Sometimes. With guns like the SMGs, it is way too overpowered. And there's an SMG that can 3-shot, which was the one you got on level 30. There was the MP5 and the, what was it, little mini AK, I guess. I don't know what it's called. Those two could 4-shot. Suck that in. You have no time at all to react. Personally, I'm a guy who likes 150 HP in COD. That just feels like the sweet spot for me, where you have time to react. It allows for more competitive gameplay because you have that chance of reacting to it, which I just personally enjoy. So really, I don't know. I feel like the TTK in this game it's just way too fast. They definitely need to up the health to 150 or at least reduce the damage because it's stupidly fast, especially for SMGs. It's so dumb. If you played the beta, you know exactly what I mean. Everyone and their mama was using SMGs, which for some reason I don't even know why. Like, it's a beta. You gotta experiment with other guns. Like, I released a video on every weapon class except for melee and rocket launchers, I think, which I didn't even use rocket launchers, sadly. But yeah. So this will also double as my weapon class review. So I'm talking about TTK. I'm reviewing weapon classes also, and this is my SMG one. They're way too overpowered. They need nerfed. They need nerfed a lot. This is definitely an SMG heavy beta. I'll say that a lot. But so either increase the health or decrease the damage. which I feel like a 150 base health should just be what it is anyways. Go straight back to Cold Wars. Cold War's time to kill, I think, was perfect. You had time to react. It was competitive. You know, it was just fun. Um, so yeah, that's my thoughts on the TTK. Very bad. Thoughts on the SMGs. Well, not very bad. I shouldn't say very bad. Sorry, it's still an improvement from like Modern Warfare 2's, which was just stupid. But yeah, so it's all right, but it could be better. Is basically. So I'm just complaining about it. And then SMGs. The SMGs are, like I was saying before, way too overpowered. So that's where I'm just gonna cut it off. They're too overpowered. They need nerf. They're just not fun, to go against. So yeah, I think the next thing I'm gonna talk about is assault rifles, which you can see in the background. I'm using the AK in this footage. There's obviously the AK. There's the this game's version of the Krieg 6. Couldn't tell you what it's called. And then there's the M4. All the three of the assault rifles that we got to use. Obviously, there's gonna be more, but the three we got to use felt really smooth. They were really nice. Um, the AK was fantastic. The M4, it's slow killing sometimes. It's a little inconsistent, but it's so easy to use that it doesn't matter. And then the other gun also just felt fantastic. All three of these rifles just feel good. They play good, and they're just nice to use. So yeah, the next best thing to talk about is going to be the weapon class of shotguns. And in this beta, there was only one, and it's okay. It's not overpowered. People are gonna scream nerf shotguns. It's overpowered. It's really not. It's if you're close to someone, you're gonna kill them. It's a damn shotgun. If you're like medium range, if you're like 10 meters from someone, there's like occasional chance you can one shot. Sometimes you're not going to. It's very inconsistent past like I would say like 7 or so meters maybe. Um, so really not that bad, but not that good. Like it's definitely fun and it can be very overpowered. Like on face-off maps, it's pretty good. I have a video on it. I'll leave the time stamp whatever the fucking thing is in the top right, the card thing. I'll leave it linked to the video also in the description. So yeah, with the shotguns, I think that it just my final thoughts are not bad, but not too broken. They're fun. They're a good mid ground. It's nice. Yeah, I can't speak about all of them though, since there's only one in this beta, and there's definitely going to be more. Shotguns are a loved class by many people. Yeah, so I think just keeping it short, sweeps shotguns. They're nice. They're mediocre, which is how they should be. They should be good at close range, not so good after that. For a game like COD. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is LMGs. And before I start, I know this image quality is absolutely terrible. I downloaded it from YouTube. It's one of my YouTube videos. I'll leave the card in the top right. It's the actual video is not this bad of quality. It's just downloading it makes it like this. But yeah, LMGs. There's only one in this beta. Again, only one, and it's also it's fantastic. It's really good. It can wallbang a lot, which I'd hope so. It's an LMG, but it really is really good. But at the same time, it's not. If that makes sense, like it can be outgunned, but at the same time, you're gonna see in clips in this video. It's really fun. I mean, I got called a cheater when I was using LMG. Shout out to that guy in that YouTube short. You know what I'm talking about. But yeah, you can see in the video like I'm killing these guys pretty fast, which is another problem to TTK, not really the weapon class. So in the TTK we have, I would say this is also just another middle ground great weapon class. You're definitely going to be able to thrive and survive with LMGs, so that you're not going to be hindered because you're using them. But you're also not going to be too overpowered because you are really slow with LMGs, which is a good thing. You should be slow while carrying that chunk of metal. So yeah, that's good news. And I'm just gonna keep it short and sweet with LMGs again. They're good, but you're not always gonna win their battle. If you're in close range, someone has an SMG, you're dead. There's no way you beat that unless they're absolutely awful. So yeah, just another great weapon class for what it is, but it's not insanely too overpowered. So yeah, moving on to the next one where I want to talk about marksman rifles. Okay, so same thing again with as the LMG one. YouTube's downloading quality was pretty bad. The actual video is really good qualities. So I'll leave the time card in the top right. But yeah, so the marksman rifles they added. Honestly, couldn't tell you the first one. I think it was the 3 on burst one. I think is what it was. Didn't really touch it that much. It can one burst, which is good. But at the same time, I just didn't like it. I didn't feel that gun. Usually I like burst too. Bursts sometimes aren't bad, sometimes are. It really just depends. But this gun, the one I'm using the footage, the DMR, is actually fantastic. Like they're well, not really. Okay, so again, they're inconsistent kind of. I would be consistently 3-shotting people, but then sometimes I'd take 4 shots, and maybe sometimes I'd even take 5. Like it's really strange. Sometimes I could 2-shot someone, and that was very, very rare when I did that. So again, inconsistent weapon class, but like if you're using a DMR, you're not completely screwed. You can definitely still fry some people, which if you watch this video, you'll see that I can still pretty easily kill some people. It started off a little rough, but so yeah, again, another simple, sweet weapon class since there's not that many in the beta. It's just easy, inconsistent sometimes, but fun to use and not really bad to use. They're not going to make you the worst player in the lobby, unless you just are, obviously. But like, so yeah, I think the next thing I'm going to talk about is the snipers. All right, same thing again with the YouTube quality on the sniper. But, the actual video looks good, so I'll leave the time card in the top right. But we're just going to go ahead and go straight into it. The snipers in this game are they're they're very good. The Dragunov for once in its goddamn life is actually a look at that shot. I mean, like double wallbang. But it is actually fantastic for once in its life, which is great. Snipers should be good. You're not gonna get absolutely dicked down by a sniper. If you rush a sniper, you're gonna fucking kill him. Unless it's like Jev on the other team. I think that's a sniper guy, right? Is he from FaZe? I don't know. I just hear Parker say it a lot. Um, but the this one, I think the Dragunov is definitely better than the bolt action. But if you're using the bolt action, you're not entirely screwed. The bolt action one shots more consistently than the Dragunov, which obviously should. So really, snipers are just fantastic in this game. Easy to use, fun to use, and they're not too overpowered. They're just snipers in any game you're ever gonna play. So yeah, just keeping it short and sweet again. Very good. I'd recommend trying them out. They're fun. So yeah, without further ado, I'm gonna get on to the pistol category. So with Black Ops 6, I think the pistols are absolutely fantastic. They're so much fun. They're great to use. When I was using them for the video I made, which I'll leave the time card in the top right, qualities from the download. I'm sorry about the quality again. But the actual video looks perfectly fine. But yeah, so the pistols are insanely fun. They're so much fun to use. I loved using pistols. It was probably some of the most fun I had in them, and I used them for like an hour and 20 minutes. It was so much fun, and they're not bad. You can easily kill someone at close range. I've two-shot someone with the pistol I'm using in this clip right here, and then I've also consistently three-shot. Like they're actually really fun, and I didn't even have the rate of fire increase yet, so they only got better from here. But so you're not gonna be absolutely just destroyed if you're using a pistol. You're gonna have fun using them, and it's gonna be easy to use. And their pistols, they have fast movement speed, all that stuff. The other pistol, the Psychov, the little Soviet one, it's Soviet. I don't know. Don't correct me. I don't really care that much. That pistol is a little worse than this one, but it's also a lot smaller. You have faster movement speed, I think. And it's still not entirely bad. I used it. I used it someone during my Tomahawk video, and it was I was still able to get kills with it plenty. I just preferred the look and feel over this one. I mean, this one over the other one. And so yeah, again, simple and sweet with the weapon class. Pistols are fantastic. Some of the most fun I had in the beta was with this pistol, and I definitely recommend using them. They're fantastic to use. They're just a lot of fun. Um, but with that being said, I can't say much about the RPGs. The one that was in the actual beta, I didn't even bother to use. I just didn't feel like it. It just didn't appeal to me to actually go out there and use it, which I should have. It's my fault. But I mean, it's RPGs. From the one you saw in the beta, it's going to be exactly what it looked like. And they're obviously going to add the RPG 7 when the full game releases. They always do, and probably the Thumper. But yeah, so they're just as you would think an RPG is, and the melee weapons are also something I didn't really, surprisingly, I didn't touch. I never actually used the knife, so I don't know if it has a good lunge or anything like that. So I can't really put my opinion on the melee weapons out there, but I can put my opinion on one thing with the melee weapon is that when you can always have a melee weapon on your loadout. Now they have a dedicated melee weapon slot where you hold down your melee button and you pull out your melee weapon, and I think that's fantastic. Does no harm, and it's only doing good, just allowing you to have another option if you really need be. And also with melees, you have infinite attack sprints, so it gives this game definitely is giving melees more of an actual use and a purpose because people, I mean, they never really had much of a purpose before other than being fun. So great additions, I think, with the melees, great changes. Um, oh, there's a puke. So yeah, I think for the weapon classes, that's all I really wanted to talk about. I'll switch to the good gameplay. But what I want to talk about next is the Omni movement, and the Omni movement is freaking amazing. I don't know why people wouldn't like the Omni movement. Sprinting backwards, it just feels like you're walking backwards at a faster pace. There's really, it's the Omni movement just feels like normal COD to me, except for the only difference is you can slide and dolphin dive in every direction. The running in every direction just feels like normal stuff to me. It makes strafing and stuff feel actually smoother. It makes it feel so much better. And another thing with the Omni movement is it is so much smoother than people thought it would be. The Omni movement is so smooth. Dolphin diving backwards is fantastic. It's dolphin diving sideways, it's fantastic. Dolphin diving in every direction, it's fantastic. ADSing while dolphin diving, fun. Sliding backwards and sliding left, right, it's fun. It just allows for more movement abilities, which is fantastic for a game like Call of Duty. It's what you want. You want with the arcade shooter to have more of that action hero feel of a Black Ops game. So fantastic changes with the Omni movement. Just I couldn't stress it enough. It's so good. I know my friend Eli was complaining about it, saying it made him feel nauseous. That was not the Omni movement's fault. That was one of his settings in his game. So that just debunked right then and there. But yeah, so I think it's fantastic what they did with Omni movement. There's literally zero complaints from me. I don't know. It is just fantastic. Dolphin diving and everything. It just feels so smooth. It's fantastic. Another thing with the movement, I guess I'm counting this as a movement. Obviously, it's not. The body shields. They're fucking. If you complain about the body shields, you're actually sick in your mind because they are fantastic. It's so funny being able to grab an enemy, move him around, to use him as an actual meat shield so you can take more damage in, but then to be able to talk to him while you're doing it. You've seen the clips probably. They're so it's so funny. It's just fantastic. Uh, no complaints there at all. So I think the next thing we're going to talk about is the visuals of the game. The game visually looks fantastic. Colors are great. The colors are a lot just better than actually the colors and looks and just the aesthetics and the like environment. Just if I don't know, there's something about it. It's just more color. It pops more, and it just looks so much better in my opinion than Modern Warfare 3 and under. Like Modern Warfare 3 and 2. You know, like the new era, the newest ish era. I know what I mean. I'm sorry if I'm not coming off clearly, but I think the game looks fantastic. It ran fantastic in the beta for me. I had like 3 crashes, but it's a beta, so I expected it to crash. If it didn't, that'd be kind of surprising. But yeah, I mean, I was kind of surprised only at 3. But yeah, so overall, game looks fantastic, feels fantastic, and all of that situation. And then the maps. The maps are good and bad. Skyline is a fantastic map. 3-lane system. You have the underground too, just in case you want to take that path. The up top, the middle. Perfect. I think that map is absolutely fantastic. It feels like an OG COD map. The map Rewind, however, is a 3-lane map that I don't like. That map to me, why is the gameplay footage choppy? It'll fix itself, trust me. The map Rewind to me just feels I don't really know. It's not bad. It feels like a COD map. It feels like the classic longer sort of maps, but at the same time, there's something about it that just doesn't roll right with me. So if I had to give it on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd probably give it like a 5 or 6. I don't know. It feels good, looks fine. It just there's something about it. It just doesn't play right always, and it just I don't know. There's something weird about it. But then the map I'm on right now, I think it's called Scud. The desert. It's a small map, compact. You got the left, right, middle. You get the trenches, the satellite. It's a short, sweet, and simple map. Is basically how I'd put it. And it's not bad. It can play really good. So really, no complaints for this map here. I mean, there are some definitely. It's really open, which some people really like. Some people really don't like. It doesn't bother me really that much. So overall, it's just a half decent map. I'm gonna talk about the 2 face-off maps while I try to remember what other maps there are. So the 2 face-off maps I think are fantastic. The tunnel one is probably my favorite of the 2. Obviously, there are the mine carts, which I wish just weren't there. I wish they covered those up. Those are just annoying for no reason. Um, so with those, like they're not perfect maps, obviously, but they're small. They're perfect for face-off, in my opinion. So really no complaints there. Just yeah, cover up those little rat holes, which are the mine carts. But then the West Virginia map, Derelict. I don't know how you say it, bro. It's the train yard one. It's not good. It's only good with hardpoint, in my opinion. That's what I would say. It plays so much better on hardpoint than it does on any other mode. On the other modes, it just doesn't feel good to play, kind of. I don't know. There's something weird about that map. It's sometimes good and sometimes absolutely terrible. So I really, yeah, I couldn't tell you why, and I don't know why I don't like it that much, but it's just the way the world works, I guess. I don't, and then Babylon. Babylon I played twice or 3 times, I think. and very small map. It's like a shipment with a little bit expanded onto it. So really small, feels great. Um, Not too many complaints there. It's not the worst map. It's not my personal favorite, but I know it's a good map. I just didn't play it enough to get a full feel of it. So overall, not too bad. Just an I map. So really every map in this beta isn't really the worst. They're all pretty good. But with that being said, I think I'm going to talk about the game modes. The game modes they added, obviously you got your core game modes, kill confirmed, hardpoint, domination, team deathmatch, all the normal jazz. But they added one new game mode, HVT, or at least, I mean, like new to this game. It hasn't been in the recent couple CODs. And I think the HVT mode is, it's a lot of fun. It's pretty fantastic, honestly. I know a lot of people kind of dig down on it, but I had fun with it. Just going out there with more health and dicking down people just as a juggernaut. But even though the enemy team has a juggernaut, and I know HVT, a lot of people camp in that mode, which, I mean, it doesn't matter. If they want to play like that, they can play like that. If they're having fun, that's all that matters. People can play the game how they want to play it. It doesn't matter. If you get mad by it, who cares? Just cry harder. I don't care. If they're having fun, they're having fun. Should I say they should? Do I say they should camp? No. It's obviously I think it's funner when people are just running around gunning. But if they want to play like it, they can. So I think the HVT mode is just fun. You see the enemy, you go chase and hunt that enemy. It's a fun, wacky game mode I kind of like. And another thing I want to talk about. This isn't necessarily gameplay or anything like that, but Treyarch. Treyarch in the span of this beta reached out to the community so many times and nerfed and changed so many things with just this beta week. And Treyarch is obviously notorious for actually listening to their community. They give the community what they want when they want it. Like with Cold War, they did that so much. Infinity Ward, I hate them as a company. They don't change anything. They don't care what people want. They're just like, hey, we got what we want it. There you go. So Treyarch is fantastic for what they've already done with the community for this game. So I think just with that alone, that just increases the bumps of this beta a lot. And I think Treyarch is such a fantastic company. Overall, Treyarch, fantastic company. 10 out of 10. I love Treyarch. They're just fantastic. I don't know. I love them. They're so much better than the other ones. Sledgehammer is a lot better now. And so Infinity Ward sucks, basically. I fucking hate them. So yeah, my overall feedback of this game. I think that this from the beta, so you cannot make a base assumption off the whole game, including campaign, zombies, and multiplayer, or at least just the whole multiplayer based off of a beta. I want people to understand that. If you disagree with me on anything, it is not the end of the world. People have different opinions. So in the comment section, be civil, have civil like arguments, prove your point on why you feel this way about this way, and what other people say is their opinion. They can have that. It's fine if they have a different opinion. Just hear them out on it. So with that being said, I think the beta was absolutely fantastic. I had a lot of fun with it. Obviously, the flaws with it, like the SMGs, I fucking hate them. Um, so there's definitely flaws with the beta. This is not a perfect beta. This is also just a beta, so things are gonna change. I need to emphasize that a lot because people don't understand that. People don't understand people are gonna have opinions either, but it's a whole thing. So I think I'm very optimistic about this game. From going after Modern Warfare 2, which is a shit, just an absolute shitter, to Modern Warfare 3, which is what Modern Warfare 2 should have been. There should have been no Modern Warfare 2. No Modern Warfare 3. Modern Warfare 3 literally should have been Modern Warfare 2. The original, what we got for the Modern Warfare 2 remake should just absolutely be wiped from everyone's memory using a Men in Black freaking whatever those fucking neutralizer things are called. Um, so yeah, I am so optimistic about this game. The beta alone, from what I played, was more fun than any COD multiplayer I've played since Cold War. Vanguard, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3. It's alright. It's not that bad. You can have fun with it, but this game I just had so much insanely more fun with it. Another thing I want to talk about real quick: field upgrades. The trader one or whatever the fuck it's called, the Spec Ops, the black scientist. What the fuck am I talking about? You know what I mean? The under sleeper agent. That field upgrade is fantastic. A lot of fun. It's so wacky. It's hilarious. And there's a perk to completely counter it, so it's not overpowered. So yeah, there you go. But yeah. So I think overall, very optimistic about this beta. I really liked it. Going into it, I was very hyped for it. Coming out of it, I'm even more hyped for it now. Especially since they already changed a lot, so I know they're gonna change stuff. And yeah, I don't know. If I had to give this on just the beta, That's it. Not anything else. On just this beta alone, I'm gonna have to, out of 100, I would probably give it a 73. It's got its flaws, but it has so much promise. It's better than any COD multiplayer. Just this beta is better than COD. Any COD multiplayer I've played in the past couple years, like Vanguard and up. Modern Warfare 3 is obviously better. It's probably close to equal. No, it's not even close to equal. Actually, it's a lot under this. But Modern Warfare 2 shit, Vanguard shit. So yeah, I think this game is fantastic. 75 out of 100 for just the beta. So yeah, be civil in the comments if you don't agree. If I said something that like what you don't agree with, let me know, please. But be civil about it. Don't just call me a freaking dumbass idiot. Actually, give me like why you think the way you do, and why you didn't agree with me with what. And if I didn't talk about anything, if there was stuff I missed, well then let me know too, because I'll put in the comments also. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. In the description, I'm gonna leave all the videos that I've made on BO6 so far, so like all the SMG, DMR, shotguns, just random stuff. So yeah, without further ado, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Let me know what you want to see me play. Just any game in general, challenges in games. And then make sure you subscribe. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. I don't know if that was a voice crack or not. I really couldn't tell you what just came out of my throat. So just yeah, subscribe and let me know what you want me to play, want me to review, want me to just do wacky challenges on, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace out.
Have a good day!